Hi, everybody. It's Linda G.
Hi,
and
Linda.
Mel.
Hi.
So he got in a fight at the pub last night.
Yeah, I got in a fight with Poopkin. You should see what he looks like. I had my shillelagh.
So
No,
how are you guys doing? I hope you're all okay. And
actually, I had a thing removed under my eye today, so this
yeah,
morning.
yeah, don't worry. Hey, when I had some work done and I was black and blue, right? Even kind of scary looking.
I wish I could have had a nip and a tuck, but they should have done both sides.
But I was at the butcher and I was asking for something. He didn't want to look like he's looking, but he was looking. Finally, I said to him, "You should see the other guy."
Yeah, you should see Poopkin when I got done with him.
So, okay. I just real quick, I'm going to tell all you guys that I just finished with an email I got from someone complaining that I talked about nukes and I'm causing fear and all that. I just tell you guys what I hear. The good news about that, they didn't say it's the end of the world. They didn't say this is the end of the world. I've had dreams and plenty of people have written me about dreams of a nuke exploding in the air. But I will tell you this, doesn't matter what he does, it's not a nothing burger.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
Well, number one, I've been on your show for a long time now, and I've been a follower of yours. I'm your biggest fan. I got to say thank you for helping me so much. I could never say thank you enough. You would never do anything to hurt anybody or bring the vibration down. Our job doing this is to reassure people and to let them know what our guides are showing us. And so if people disagree with that, I can understand it, but don't be mean about it. And it's,
well, no, she wasn't mean. She was acting like, oh, you know, I mentioned on some other show what you did, that it was scary. She's out of my 50,200 subscribers. She's the only one that said anything.
well, even
Maybe
if
it is scaring people, but let me tell you something, you guys.
Hold on, even if it wasn't mean, okay, the bottom line is you see what you see.
I see what I see.
And we do this to try to help people. And you know, these are frightening times.
They're very frightening times. So I want you to know everything's going to be okay.
Exactly. So rather than getting hung up in the fear and, oh, you said this or you didn't say that, how about let's get the fear behind us, push us forward so we can all band together. Linda, I know you would never do anything to frighten anybody.
No, I didn't say. I see a new kid in Wisconsin on Tuesday. My guide said my only purpose right now, and you know, they're very clear, is to help keep other people calm. And sometimes that involves telling the truth.
Correct.
So I saw Trump losing, okay? So people aren't complaining about that.
Right.
I see certain things that are really good news, and I also see certain things like look out. Right. So and when I went in my patio and I knew something big was getting ready to take place. I
watched that. Yeah, we all have it going.
I was overwhelmed, and I felt like I had to tell everybody, yes, just to let you know, because I got it so strong. And that's who I am. If you don't like it, then don't watch me.
I had somebody tell me by calling him Poopkin and using that reference, it brought the vibration down. And my response was, what could be lower than the vibration of a homicidal, maniacal killer, Putin? So I will stick to Poopkin. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, there's people that get real weird about using
I know,
the wrong
but
name.
you know, I watch all your shows and I've never been frightened. In fact, I felt very uplifted and encouraged by them.
Right, like it's going to be okay.
Exactly.
So, okay, but we got a lot of questions here.
Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I got my green going. I had my sweater on because it's cold.
I've got a little green in my aloha shirt too.
It's supposed to rain today.
It's nice here today. It's supposed to be like 60. That's warm for Chicago this time of year.
Yeah. I watched that Summer of Soul, that movie, Summer of Soul. It's a documentary about the Harlem big event they had that they didn't feature anywhere. They featured Woodstock, but they didn't feature that. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. I have been to numerous churches, gospel, mostly Black churches, and the energy is absolutely amazing.
I love gospel
There's
music.
nothing you can get from a Catholic church, and then I'm just not cutting Catholics. You know, you got your this and that and blah, 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 but there's nothing more uplifting with the singing and the dancing. I've gone to many funerals. A lot of the gals that I worked with belong to these churches, and oh my God, it's just, there's nothing better. In fact, after watching that, now I want to look for a church so I can go.
When I was in college, I minored in folklore, and I did a comparative ethnography of a Black Baptist church in the South and a white Baptist church.
What's the white Baptist church like?
You're going to hell. You've been to hellfire, Jesus. If you don't born again, Jesus doesn't like you if you're gay. Jesus doesn't like you if you.
Okay.
But the Black African-American Baptist church, you know, I love Black gospel. I love it.
I love it. I
I'm
forgot
not
how much I
religious.
love it.
Oh my God, I love it.
You know, Oh Happy Day, that song.
Yeah, exactly.
They were kicked out of their church because they didn't believe in celebration. What religion is that?
Oh, I don't know.
They don't believe in singing and dancing or celebration. I mean, churches try to act like they own you and they don't.
But I just love the energy in an African-American church, and the singing and the togetherness, and it's really cool. And then afterwards, when they have the church socials, I love to cook, and I love Southern food. Now, when I moved here, they called it soul food. Down home, we just called it Southern food.
Right.
But oh God, the food and I love going to a church that's, as they say, spirit filled.
Spirit filled. Exactly. So, okay. Praise the Lord. But it really that Summer Soul got me in the mood just to get back on board and do a couple of, because that's uplifting. In Africa, they call it like being taken over by the Spirit of the Lord. That's, you know, how they start shaking and dancing. That's an African.
How they call it falling out when they like
yeah,
out.
but I could see it. I saw it happening. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Question: with the GQP introducing state laws and policies that regress the nation to the 1950s, such as book banning abortion, anti-LG, you know what that one is? Yeah. It just popped off, of course. So what's your question? Hold on, sorry. Here we go. So the question is, anti-LGBTQ measures, etc., and angering the 18 to 25-year-old voting bloc. Will this group make a strong showing in this year's elections?
The anti-LGBTQ, you mean? Is she talking about the person talking about the Republicans making a strong showing?
I think she might be saying the 18 to 25, they're angering them. So will they come out in droves? I think they will.
The 18 to 25 will come out like those ants you saw.
I saw ants.
Droves. I mean, droves. Because you know what? Nowadays, if you talk to kids in high school and stuff, and I mean, I'm gay, obviously, but you know, they're so open about it and so accepting, and you know, really seriously questioning gender and how we define that. And so they're really and they're very responsible. So I see them coming out in droves to vote. Absolutely.
Okay, good. Question: how do we best continue to raise the world vibration higher?
I'm sorry.
How do we best continue to raise the world vibration higher?
Well, one of the things you had said, something big is coming to unite all of us. And I think this thing with Ukraine is really, Americans are uniting against this war. Mm-hmm. And we're all, many of us are saying, except for a small group of Trumplicans, that we are not afraid of Putin. Bring it on, buddy.
Yeah, so you can't show fear.
That's right. It's uniting a lot of us as Americans. And so I think, you know, to defeat the bully, you have to stand up to the bully.
Right.
And I think one of the things to raise the vibration is to say, we will not tolerate bullying from Russia or anybody from here, including a governor or a president. We won't tolerate it.
Right.
And that message is starting to really be heard. And
Yeah.
that's and to get out and vote. That's the other thing. Get out
Get
there
out,
and vote. Make your voice heard.
you know, Jesus, when he came, he brought a message of peace and love, and also to get out of our own way.
Correct.
You know, get out of your own way, because basically my Father's house is your house. So he didn't want people to be afraid. Now, that didn't mean things magically changed overnight. That didn't mean that the Jewish people didn't suffer or other people suffered. Rome was still horrible. And horrible things have happened since he's been here. But all he tried to do was give you the ability to separate yourself energetically.
The tools.
And I'm definitely not comparing myself to Jesus, but I think a lot of these light workers, that's what they're doing, is just know that this too shall pass, and we're all in it together.
Well, Jesus didn't raise any of us to be Jesus didn't say anything in the gospel that we're supposed to be a doormat or we're supposed to be bullied. In fact, Jesus was a zealot. You know, he stood up against the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and all of that. So, you know, I think our message is to be inclusive, to love each other, to get together in love, but yet stand up to the bullies. And so that's what's going on in the world.
Okay.
You know,
Here's
there's
a real
many,
good
many
question.
Russian people who don't like Putin. And my heart goes out to the Russian people as well.
Right. Oh, listen, a lot of them have already left.
That's right. That's
They
right.
left Russia. My question is, when giving a reading, some psychics say they are connecting with your spirit guides, while others say they are connecting with their own guides. Is it possible for either to be true? In other
Yeah.
words, can a psychic really interact with the guides of the person they are reading?
Absolutely. I talk to mine, I talk to theirs. I mean, a guide can be a dearly departed. It can be an angel. It can be, so I talk to my guides and some of their guides. You know, I don't always get their guides' names, but I feel their energy.
Right. Karen said, thank you. I love the two of you together.
Thank you.
I am so bothered by so many people are buying into the Trump campaign. These are people from Florida, people I went to chiropractic school with, and they just really hate Democrats. What do you see in the future with them?
Well, Trump's base will be Trump's base. You know,
Always.
the Trumplicans. I think at some point they'll all crawl off and hide in the woodwork somewhere, but still, you know, after Hitler was defeated, nobody ever wanted to come forward and say I was for Hitler, right? Their beliefs are their beliefs. Now, back to Jesus. So what did Jesus do when he met somebody that disagreed with them? He didn't stand there and argue. He blessed them and went on his way because he had some work to do. So, you know, you don't try to change them because you're not. Just be who you are and let your light shine.
There you go. Yeah, and bless them. That's true. You have to, our problem is we get just as zealot as they do. We get so angry. And then one day my guy said to me, you're going to have to knock it off. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, don't be so anti-Trump to where you're vile and hate it. And it doesn't help you. It doesn't do anything to him. And it doesn't help your people listening to you. Oh, after I said, you guys, and I'm not talking peace, love, dove, and we need to embrace him. I'm just saying we need to stop with that energy because it only hurts us. Oh, I had so many people mad at me. How could you say that? He's the worst. He's the demon from hell. I understood what they were saying, but later on down the road, some people said, I get it now.
Well, number one, he's too stupid to be a demon.
Right, right. And the other thing is, even with the visions of a failed nuke or attempted nuke, he's in for, Putin's in for his just desserts. It's going to happen, but we can't wish for it or want it. We have to just know. And they only told us this so we wouldn't be afraid. Know that this too shall pass. So.
Well, and also what sometimes what we hook into is something telepathically, that's thought transference. And it's hard to tell the difference between that and will he do it? So in his mind, he's actually thinking about using nukes. I mean, that's in his head. Right. So I think a lot of us are tuned into what he's thinking. And so that helps explain.
That could be, yeah, because he's always threatening.
Right.
I will consider it. And that's why everybody's tap dancing with him, because they fear him blowing one.
Well, they need to stop the tap dance and get in there and get into some real gymnastics and say, we're not going to be frightened by your threat of nuclear weapons because we have them too, and you don't even
Yeah.
want to go down that road.
No, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want to wipe out. Hey, Linnea said, my question is, will Matt Gaetz, MTG, and Lauren Boebert ever get their just rewards?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Can't
It's very
wish it,
simple.
but yeah, it'll happen.
Well, you know, the good thing well, there's no good thing about this Ukrainian thing, but think about it. Before that, T. Rump was still getting all this news media coverage, and now he's not getting anything. And that's killing his ego, and he's not dealing with it well. And this is part of his karma. And, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, or however you pronounce her name, and Matt Gaetz, they're not getting all of that coverage they got.
No.
So, you know, this is hurting them financially as well. And this is part of their karma.
Right, right. But, you know, he was on, they showed, which I hate seeing, somebody showed what, maybe it was on Twitter. He was saying, oh, you know, if I was president, I could have talked to Putin. Now they're saying, not even 2 weeks ago, he was saying that he thought Putin was a brilliant man. Now he's saying, oh, you know, if I was there, I'm the only one who could talk to him.
Well, you know what? He's been talking to Putin anyway. He never stopped. That's what my guides show me. And you know what I find funny is now, and here's how I knew that all of this QAnon stuff was a playbook coming out of Russia from Putin. Because now what Putin is telling people is that because of these chemical factories, nerve factories in Ukraine, that, you know, sponsored by the United States, that it was the US and Ukraine who let out the coronavirus. Oh, really? And this is part of the conspiracy stuff, and people are believing it, and QAnon and Trumplicans. I'm like, but wait a minute. Trump said it came out of China.
Yeah.
And he blamed China. And now Russia. Yeah, exactly. And now Russia's like that with China. So it just goes to show how they change horses in the middle of the stream and switch the narrative to suit whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what, this is all about truth coming to light. And what Putin is doing is uniting the free world and a lot of other countries against Putin and what he's doing, because it's murder. It really is genocidal murder. And we stand up and fight against that. Absolutely. We do.
What's the difference between soul connection and spiritual connection?
The same, in my opinion.
Okay. Marjorie said, we don't hear much about the situation with the kids at the border anymore. It's like the media forgot. What percentage of them have been reunited with their family?
Very few, unfortunately.
Oh, damn.
I do think it's getting better for them. I really do. And, you know, Gary and I were maybe talking about taking in a couple from Ukraine, but I said, well, how about some of these kids at the border? We should think about that too.
Yeah.
So let's don't forget about those children at the border, because they need our love and attention as well.
Yeah. Kimberly says, Michigan representatives and Trump supporter Bill Huizenga district no longer exists, thanks to independent redrawing of the Michigan districts. But he is now challenging Representative Fred Upton, who's a Republican, who voted to impeach Trump. Who do you see winning?
Not the first guy you mentioned.
Okay, okay. Okay, question. If a spaceship came down to Earth and offered both of you a trip in their ship around the universe, would you take it?
Oh, in a nanosecond.
Not me.
I would. I'm an adventurous spirit. In fact, I'd like to go to Poland for a week on the border, or maybe 10 days and help with the refugees. I would.
No, on a spaceship.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying I'm an adventurous
They're
spirit.
not going to go to Poland. They're going to take you to Jupiter and Mars.
Well, first
other galaxies.
First I say, let's go to Poland and do some work, and then we'll. Oh, I would do it in a nanosecond. I'd want to see other planets and what they look like and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Provided I could come back here.
Okay. Giga said there's a video going around that the mayor in Ukraine has been kidnapped by Russian forces. I saw that. Zelensky calls it a terrorist act. My question is the mayor okay?
My guide showed me he's still alive and he's well.
Okay.
You know, if they take on a mayor and they take these political prisoners, that's just going to give more courage and more determination for people to fight.
Yeah.
Putin is doing annihilation. It's from the old Soviet tactics and thinking that these people are going to give up in fear. They will not. They'll fight.
Oh, listen, their jails are already overpacked with people who have been protesting against.
Oh, absolutely. But the Ukrainians, they're not gonna stop fighting. They will not stop.
Right. Will Putin take out some of our communication satellites, provide internet service?
No.
Yeah, and I feel like, we're on him. Our
Right.
people are on him. So I don't know. Sorry, you guys, this goes.
Don't forget, we've got equal to or greater than capabilities of cyber attack as well. And if he did that, he's talking about if any country in NATO helps Ukraine against Russia, he'll look at it as an act of war against Russia from that country. Well, excuse me, he's asking for help from Syria and China. So the United States could say, wait a minute, if you send in your troops, we're going to look at that as an act of war against the United States from your country.
Right.
He doesn't get to do both. So
Right.
if he takes down a communication satellite for our internet, we're going to look at that as an act against the United States. And if he does
Well,
that,
let me tell you, already I started seeing flags flying, but I haven't concentrated on yet about that American journalist who was killed.
oh yeah, I was thinking about that.
That's a major stepping stone
Oh yeah, that's right.
because it's against international policy. I think he will be charged with crimes against humanity
Oh,
by
clearly,
the international, but he might end up exiting before that.
if he lives that long.
Yeah.
I mean, when this is all over and done with, there will be like Nuremberg trials. I don't know where they'll hold them, probably in Ukraine, probably in Kiev. There will be war crime trials. And if those guys, they're obviously not going to show up, but they'll be tried absentia and convicted. And so absolutely, I see tribunals to try them for war crimes.
Here's a good one. Former press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders is running for governor of Arkansas. Do you see her winning?
Ooh. I think the opponent's going to come out about all the time she lied for Trump when she was his press secretary and all the misinformation. And so either independent or Democratic person's going to say, wait a minute, she lied to you then. How do you know she's not lying?
If it's about Trump, they don't care.
Oh, I understand that.
And Arkansas is full of Trumpsters.
Well, I don't know.
I haven't officially looked at it, but it's very possible she could win.
You know what? I'll look at it, but I haven't looked at it officially. I agree. I'm not trying to get out of the answer. I just don't know yet. I mean, it is very, very possible she could win. But if she does, a lot's going to come out about her. That's not good.
Okay. Sunflower said, hi, Linda and Mel. I feel like the US is providing a lot more help to Zelensky that's being said.
Oh, agreed.
Yes, absolutely. He has front row seats to intel. I'm told what I can say out loud, but some of it, they don't show me because I'm not allowed.
Right. It's funny. I talked to a friend of mine who's a flight attendant this morning. And I said, a lot of people are afraid to go on trips to Europe, because they're afraid it'll spread. I don't see that war spreading. That's number one. So my trip is still a go for Croatia. It's like 4 or 5 countries away. And if, the company that put the trip together thought anybody would be in harm's way, they would cancel it. But I said to her, how are the airlines dealing with this? She said, well, when we go to India, we used to fly over Russia, but we don't do that anymore. So now they're rerouting a lot of those trips from Chicago and they're taking different air routes so they don't fly over Russia. So even the airlines are protecting their passengers and people. So
wow. Elon Musk said he wants to live on Mars by 2030. Is he an alien and will he succeed in doing this?
No, he's not an alien. And yes, at some point there will be some kind of colony he will establish on Mars. Now, let's get back to an earlier question. You said if a spaceship came down and took me to see the universe, would I do it? Yes, in a nanosecond. But I said I'd like to come back to Earth.
Okay.
So living on Mars is difficult
Oh,
because
yeah,
you can't go outside. You've got to suit up. You've got to, you just can't go outdoors and look at the flowers.
right.
So I would like to visit Mars, but living there, no.
Okay,
I like the oceans too well.
okay, okay. Hey, so Brian wants to know, when will the new variant hit and how will it differ from the current one?
I think there might be a mild one in the fall, but it's not going to be like anything we've been through.
Right.
I won't say it's a nothing burger, but it's not going to be like anything we've gone through. I don't even know if they'll bring back mask mandate.
Okay, Adrian said, how do we deal with someone has hurt you or done you wrong? Will karma get them back for their wrongdoing?
Well, I need to practice this one. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or condoning bad behavior. It means you move forward, but it doesn't mean you have to let that person in your life to continue to hurt you.
Right,
So, when somebody does us wrong, our initial thought is, oh, I hope they get, we want to get even. But
which
then
hurts us. It only hurts us.
exactly. But then after that is like, okay, bless your heart. Let karma take care of it.
And
And
just walk away and understand
exactly.
you've learned a lesson and walk away.
Unless they're bullying you, then you can stand up to the bully and say, enough is enough.
Uh, who will beat DeSantos in Florida?
I don't know, but I see him out.
Me
I mean,
too.
I find an abomination when you can't even have certain books in schools anymore or say the word gay.
Oh, my
That
God.
is just, if that ever goes to the Supreme Court, they will not uphold that because you cannot limit people's freedom of speech. You can't.
No, it will
And,
go to Supreme Court, but
and
yeah,
I
he's an
know,
idiot.
and he's going to have something on his face and it ain't egg.
And listen, the way he told those young boys off about wearing a mask,
Oh, I know.
what an idiot.
Well, you know what? And if he would have done that to me, I would have taken another mask and put it on over the one I had on. So
Linda and Mel, peaceful greetings. This is Veronica. I make and sell jewelry made of semi-precious stones. I always write on the tag the meaning attributed to the stone. How much of this is true and what stones would you recommend?
oh, I believe that stones have vibratory energy. Absolutely. My favorite stone was not really, I like amber, but that's not really a stone. It's actually petrified tree sap. But I like anything green, like emeralds are kind of expensive, but any kind of green stone is good because it represents the heart chakra.
Oh, okay.
Um, if you want to stay grounded, obsidian is good. That's volcanic. It's black, but that helps ground. But I like the greener ones.
Right. Good. Yeah. But I think saying the story of the stone is pretty cool.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely. I absolutely do that. At some point, let us know how to contact you because I would like to get some of those stone stories.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, she can write you at Mel.
Mel at meldoerr.com.
Okay. What do you foresee for the economy? Do you see cryptos playing a big part?
Do I see what?
Cryptos playing a big part.
Well, cryptocurrency is going to start being regulated, specifically if there's that money being funneled to Russia. And I just heard, that Senator Elizabeth Warren, and she's introducing a bill to start regulating cryptocurrency, so the Russians can't put it there, and they can't, and so that they can't get their hands on it. And I think that bill will go through. Cryptocurrency is going to be kind of volatile right now, so be careful. I don't think it'll ever become our currency. No.
Okay.
I don't know what the question is, but be careful if you're going to invest in it because you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Kay wants to know, does Winston Churchill think the comparison of President Zelensky to him? What message does Hitler have for Putin?
Well, I don't hook into Hitler energy. I just don't want to go down that road.
And I don't think Winston Churchill, I've never heard of him being compared to, it's two different people. Night and day.
It is. When Churchill said this was Britain's darkest hour, I can't do Churchill, but I love that picture of him with a cigar. But they both have, they're both heroes in their own right. I would ask Churchill's spirit to help Zelensky, absolutely. But I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't see Churchill and him. Churchill, was a chronic alcoholic. He was smart as a whip.
Did you hear the story about Churchill when this lady, she wasn't very attractive, and he said something to her and she said, "You're drunk." He said, "Yes, and tomorrow I'll be sober, but tomorrow you'll still be ugly."
Hey, this is a good one from Janine. Where's Biden's head right now in reference to the Ukraine?
I think this is going to bring Biden's numbers up. And some people see Biden as weak, but he's clearly not weak at all. And I think behind closed doors, he's telling Putin, you better not do this. And I think even he's going to start getting tough with the Chinese. And if the Chinese start helping the Russians, I can see Biden sanctioning China as well. So
yeah, but we owe China a whole bunch of money.
Well,
stand at the door and try to collect.
Correct.
I'm going to tell you something. No, I don't see China helping Russia. I see they speak from both sides of their mouth. They're kind of acting like the Putin, but they're seeing the devastation being caused to Russia. They don't want that.
Well, we use a lot of Chinese products in this country.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people here are boycotting those. So,
what? Amazon doesn't tell you that a product's coming from China. I'd like to know if a product's coming from China.
I know. And I think there's going to be legislation passed to let us know where those products come from.
I mean, I don't mind paying a little more. So you get cheap. Oh, I've gotten some stuff here. Once I see the made in China thing.
I bought a thermometer, like for the gun thermometer.
Or the mask. The mask just fell
apart. The thermometer didn't work. The masks are horrible. So,
but it's not that all things, but it's still heartbreaking. Okay, DS said in New York City, electricity bills have increased. If we are moving towards more electric uses, will charging station and electric bills be affordable? And how will the prices be controlled? I thought of that too. I thought, why would everybody want to go into an electric car when you can get everything? You get a sun flare and it can shut everything down.
Well, any kind of radiation can shut down a regular car as well. I don't think it would have much effect on an electric car. But here's the problem. Right now, let's get to gas prices. And I understand the Russian oil is about 3%, but the oil companies are making record profits.
Oh, yeah. They brought those prices up before even the sanctions took effect.
And they're price gouging. And Elizabeth Warren was talking about that. So they're introducing a bill to stop this price gouging. And so I think everybody should speak up, call their congressperson, whoever, and say, we will not tolerate this price gouging.
Well, the White House just announced that they're going to go in and take 50% of the profits the oil companies are getting, take that money and feed it to people under $75,000 a year so they can offset these things with. They're doing it deliberately.
Of course they are.
Somebody brought up, and it was on Twitter, and I reposted it, that back when the gas prices were at the highest, a gallon of oil was really high, like $140 a gallon. Now it's $106, and they've upped the prices way over what it was back then. So it's definitely bull. I remember when prices in California went up and Governor Newsom said, or was it Jerry Brown? Somebody said, okay, so we need you guys to show us exactly how you came up with these figures. And suddenly the prices went down.
Correct. Well, I have said this. I would rather pay $100 a gallon than put 1 penny of Putin's gas in my gas tank.
There you go.
But I do not agree with these oil companies price gouging. That is wrong.
That's what they're doing.
I know. And they're going to be called on it.
They will.
So you know what? Here's karma though.
What?
The fact that electric cars are coming out is going to cut their profits. So I think let them make it while they can. And somebody had written me saying that, they only have a salary of $25,000 a year. Electric cars are expensive. But I think that once the electric cars get out there, the price will come way down.
Oh, it's going to come way down.
Here's the only thing though. In order to get the charging stations, you have to generate electricity. So where do you get that from? Diesel or gasoline or coal power generators. So they have to find a way to generate the electricity for the power stations to charge the car.
Or
So
solar
they're more
power.
green as well.
Yeah. You just answered the next person's question. Will electric cars be more affordable? Yeah.
Yes,
And I
absolutely.
have a hybrid. I hardly ever put gas in it, but it's nice because if it charges, it works both ways and it gets like 31 miles to a
And
gallon.
what I also see, you just hit on something, is giving tax breaks to people under a certain income bracket to get hybrids or electric cars. And that makes the price cheaper.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh, and today on the news, they said that the IRS is hiring a whole bunch of new people,
oh, wow.
which will help the DOJ because they're already investigating people who are being paid by Russia.
Well, I think they're hiring a bunch of people to investigate that. I think, for people in this country who can't afford to pay taxes or haven't, I think they'll kind of leave them alone and give them an opportunity for amnesty.
Well,
But-
these people are lower level people they're hiring. That gives freedom to the people who've been in the business to start really looking at the
Correct.
big wigs. These
Correct.
people will just be stamping papers, but
I
it
know.
gives the other ones a relief.
Right.
Okay, Linda says, my question, will Archangel Michael appear to Ukraine to help with the war?
I think he already is in many different forms.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
They don't have to come in human form. They can let their presence known like through an animal or through this or through that. I think his energy, Archangel Michael means warrior of God. And I think that, he's a lot of Ukrainian people that are fighting are feeling his spirit. They might not know it's him, but that we will not let them take over our country. That's Archangel Michael, I think, pushing that energy in through them so they can stand up against Putin.
Right. How about Alexa Navalny from Mary? Surely he is learning about all of this Russia and Ukraine mess. How is he feeling?
Oh, Navalny.
Oh, he's announcing from his jail cell protest.
Correct. I see him holding a position like in Russia at some point, or like an advisor. Remember with apartheid, or like Walesa, remember, I think he started Solidarność, the labor unions in Poland, and that's what helped bring down communism. So if not, he would be like a consultant or to somebody that's high up in government. So he's going to be a unifying force with the Russian people as well.
Okay.
And helping to overthrow Putin.
I had that vision of him standing outside of jail in the sun, waving at everybody.
That's right.
Which world players will benefit the most financially from the war between Putin, Ukraine, and their allies?
You mean financial benefits?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you who it won't be. It won't be Russia, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I can't tell you who will profit from it, but it won't be Russia.
Cheryl wants to know, what is the future for John Eastman? It's not good.
No.
He's that attorney that helped Trump.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him. Why do I see indictments there?
Oh yeah, he's going, trust me, he's in trouble.
And I see him dressed in orange.
Wow. He's trying to fight. He pled the fifth.
He can plead the fifth all he wants, but that doesn't mean anything.
And he wasn't, technically, he wasn't Trump's. He was in the DOJ. He worked for the people. He didn't work for Trump.
Right.
He just came up with an idea Trump liked.
That was his attorney that, yeah. He's an attorney, Eastman. Yeah, he is, right?
Yeah, he's also an attorney, but he worked for the DOJ.
No, I understand
And
that.
he came up with an idea and Trump was going to
Right.
put him in place.
Right.
He fired Barr and then he was going to put him in place. And then everybody else threatened to quit. You
But
put
I see-
Eastman in, we're gone.
I see Eastman's law license being revoked. He can never hold, I see where he's not going to be able to hold a political office. I see him indicted and I see him behind bars.
Okay. Somebody, Wendy's heard from another source that something big will happen on April 4th. I don't do astrology, so.
Somebody said the Ides of March, but you know, I don't know. I'm not really necessarily. It's the Ides of March is tomorrow, but I'm not.
Do you see Zelensky's family being safe from harm?
Yes, they will fight too, but yes, the answer is yes. I mean, he's a hero. He really is a hero. And I see him getting some kind of Nobel Prize. And if Putin kills Zelensky, that's going to enrage the world even more to stand up against Putin.
Here's a good question, because I don't know if we directly answered this. From Mary, will Russia withdraw from the Ukraine?
At some point, yes. But Putin is not going to give up. I understand these peace talks, but that's going to be Putin. Well, you give me this in Ukraine and you give me that, and you give me half the country. But I don't see that occurring. What I see is, remember when you saw those ants, Linda, those army of
Yeah,
ants?
yeah.
Okay. My guides are showing me all of these like rats, you know, and that would be standing for Putin's troops and all of that. And all of a sudden, I see them running the other way. So,
Well,
that would tell me that
600
they-
sailors on a warship from Russia wouldn't shoot. They dropped. They wouldn't do anything.
And my guides show me that a lot of the Russian soldiers are going to join Ukraine.
Oh wow,
So,
that's what I'm seeing too.
and I understand the food that the Russians have, the Russian soldiers, is outdated by 7 years. You can't eat it, and so they're hungry. So they're raiding restaurants and grocery stores in Ukraine to get something to eat. So they're running out of supplies, ammunition, everything.
And listen, even the nukes Russia has, you can tell by the way he treated his soldiers. That stuff inside of it has to be updated, and it's all old.
Right. So I see like all these rats turning and running, and then I see them attacking Putin. So
Good. Callie Suds wants to know, when will the AIDS pandemic end? I was reading it started June 5th, 1981, the gay cancer. It's broken so many people, and over 36 million. There is no cure. I thought there was.
no, there isn't. But some of the pharmaceutical companies, whose names I won't mention, the same technology they used to come up with a COVID vaccine is the same kind of technology they use to find a cure for hepatitis C.
Wow.
I see one of these pharmaceutical companies actually coming up with a cure for HIV, for AIDS, but also a vaccination for it that'll work. And I think COVID took away a lot of that research, but we're going to see that within the next couple of years. There's already a medication you can take that keeps you from transmitting the virus.
Right.
But I actually see a cure.
Yeah, I've always thought there was a cure.
And let's talk about karma. Remember when the Reagan years happened and AIDS came out and Ronald Reagan wouldn't do anything because it was a gay disease? Okay, look at all the people that died. But then look at what happened to Ronald Reagan. He had Alzheimer's. So that's an example of karma.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. Someone said that April 4th is going to be a nuclear. I don't get that. I get a failed attempt.
Let me see what day April 4th falls on. April the 4th is on a Monday. Oh, I'm off that day.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to go. We'll be doing a show. I'm not going to go to the Fallout shelter on that day.
Yeah. I lost my place because somebody called me. So why is what the hell is Emmanuel Macron talking to Putin about for 11 times?
Well, you know, France is part of NATO. And I think what he's trying to do is try to talk some sense into Putin's head. He's clearly not siding with Putin. Macron is really, really against Putin. So is France. And so, you know, thank God it was Macron who's the president of France and not that crazy woman who almost won. That would have been, oh my God, Katie bar the door.
She would have told Putin, go ahead.
All right. So he's not talking to Putin to make nice. He's talking to Putin to say, wait a minute. A
Okay.
lot, the same as a lot of other leaders are.
Okay. So, do you Air America filling in the truth gap in Europe and Russia? Somebody's not spelling this right, so I don't Putin's electrical jamming can stop it if launched. Perhaps I'm wrong. Air America, that must be a show that Putin has blocked.
What was the name of, what was it? I'm sorry.
Air America. Is it some sort of show or?
I don't know, but
I guess Putin is jamming everything and they just want to know probably, will this go on? You know, a lot of the Russians that escaped out of Russia, mostly middle class, they're letting their people know in Russia, hey,
oh yeah,
it's true. It's true.
a lot of, he'll keep jamming, but here's what I see. Like Radio Free Europe, during World War II, and even after that, Radio Free Europe did broadcast to the communist countries. And I see Radio Free Europe starting to broadcast into Russia because, you know, the only TV now is the state-owned TV there, and is what Putin wants to put on. But Radio Free Europe will be telling the truth, and the Russian people are getting that. I understand that somebody in Ukraine hacked into one of their news broadcasts and actually put the truth on there. So,
well, I know Anonymous or somebody like that is claiming
right.
he's done it. I don't know if it's true or not, but all right, my friend, can you believe 51 minutes? I have a client at 11.
It was fun today.
Thank you. It was fun. Yeah. And I'll be on your show next week.
Next week, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Now, when is the Irish Day? The 17th? Is that?
The 17th.
What day is that?
Now, the 17th would be on, hold on, I can tell you.
It's on Thursday.
Thursday. Yep. That's
All
St.
right.
Patrick's. And then the next day, 18th is St. Joseph's Day. So you wear red on St. Joseph's Day.
I have no idea who St. Joseph is.
St. Joseph was the father of Jesus.
Oh, well, I knew there was a Joseph. I've never heard him called St. Joseph.
The Catholic thing. The Italians celebrate St. Joseph's Day. They have big St. Joseph's Day tables and no meat. It's huge in the Italian community.
What about Mary? They call her Saint Mary?
There is a Saint Mary, but I don't think it's the Virgin Mary.
Okay.
I mean, she doesn't have to be a saint. According to the Catholics, she's a mother of God, so she doesn't have to be a saint.
She doesn't have to be a saint. All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right. It was nice seeing you. Thanks for the advice earlier on.
Okay, honey. No
All right.
problem.
Love you tons. And
Love you tons.